Subscribe. MTL World at Meteor World 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2 Origin Continent. Chapter 263 Win or Lose. 42nd of Volume 6. Luo Feng also had no choice. Under the influence of those 9 strange powers, he couldn't exert much of his strength at all. Without using the secret treasure, he had no chance of winning the bet against the Thunder Ancestor. Now, only by using the Star Tower for protection can he deal with his opponent more easily. Of course, if he keeps hiding in the tower, and doesn't counterattack, then it still counts as you must engage in direct combat and gain the upper hand to win the bet. This is the 9-story tower. The Thunder Ancestor knew about the confrontation between Luo Feng and Emperor Qing, and was aware of the existence of this 9-story tower. Thunder Ancestor, in this gambling battle, I can only use the secret treasure to have a slim chance of winning. Luo Feng said. Be careful. I've cultivated for several more eras than you, it's only natural for the big to bully the small. Thunder Ancestor smiled and said, feel free to use any secret treasure. As long as you gain even a slight upper hand, I will lose. Woo. In an instant, Luo Feng's body transformed into an endless river of water. The most basic life unit of this endless blood river remained the multi-clawed creature form. It was just that its external form had transformed into a blood river. The blood river instantly enveloped the Thunder Ancestor. The Thunder Ancestor could sense the river of blood being incredibly heavy, forming a spatial cage, intending to imprison him. There was even more power trying to seep into his body, strangling his body. The Thunder Ancestor stood there without moving, with an invisible force circulating around his body. His physique was so perfect that no external force could penetrate or shake him. Luo Feng once single-handedly overpowered the combined forces of 8 emperors. Compared to that time, the most basic energy that constituted the blood river had transformed from the 24 forms into the multi-clawed creature form. Luo Feng's realm had also improved significantly. Interesting. The Thunder Ancestor, as if playing with water, reached out his hand and stirred the blood river. The entire endless blood river trembled violently, starting to explode in various places. Go! Luo Feng, transformed into an endless blood river, instantly unleashed the Star Tower and executed his killing move. After Luo Feng obtained the Eye of Life and Death and gained a deeper understanding of the blood-colored scales at the edge of the 12 colors, he finally comprehended the 9-branch secret techniques of the Tao of Life and Death, named Meteor. With the help of the secret patterns of the Star Tower, this move can be elevated to an extremely terrifying level. Boom! The Star Tower, like a meteor, instantly crossed across the void of the cosmic sea. The faces of the Thunder Ancestor and the Yangfeng Ancestor, who were watching from a distance, changed dramatically. They have rich experience and extraordinary insights. But at this moment, the tower is like a scene of a meteor crossing across the void of the cosmic sea. Time is frozen, and space is naturally separated. At this moment, the Star Tower is indestructible. The Thunder Ancestor couldn't evade this strike either, because just as he saw the meteor, it had already, simultaneously, struck his body. Rumble, the Thunder Ancestor took a hit, and his towering body staggered back a few steps. The power of the Supreme Rules is like a shackle, completely binding his strength. Of course, the Star Tower is also heavily restricted. With equal power, the Star Tower repelled him. Super powerful secret treasure. It must be a top-tier secret treasure. At this moment, the Thunder Ancestor was extremely certain. This strike stopped time, separated space, and condensed matter to the extreme, making it indestructible. It should be a precious secret treasure forged by Senior Yuan and the others. Even with such a significant difference in realm, you can still repel Lei Ting with the help of a treasure. It must be a treasure worth more than 100,000 reward points in the infinite space. The Yangfeng Ancestor thought the same. Only treasures of this level can create numerous miracles. Ha ha ha. The Thunder Ancestor laughed heartily from afar in all directions, and the figures of thunder began to gather together. There were 8 thunder clones in total. The 9 Thunder Ancestors naturally formed a huge formation. The formation was in operation, quickly surpassing the operation of time, space, matter, life and many other great Taos. Luo Feng's endless blood river also became much quieter, with only the Star Tower, transformed into a meteor, still repeatedly tearing through the formation, then striking the true body and clones of the Thunder Ancestor. However, under the suppression of the formation, the counterattack of the Star Tower has already reduced significantly in power. Without using treasures, we can't suppress this 9-story tower. The 9 Thunder Ancestors watched as the Star Tower repeatedly tore through the formation and charged at them, but deep in their eyes, there was a hint of greed. He longed for this kind of treasure, but unfortunately, he knew that the Lord of the Galaxy would not give him the opportunity, and would not bring this pagoda out of the origin continent. The Thunder Ancestor waved his hand and threw out an ancient stone pillar. The stone pillar became the core of the entire formation, making the formation created by the 9 thunder ancestors even stronger, with more terrifying suppression over many great Tao's such as time, space, matter, and life. At this moment, Luo Feng was completely suppressed. Although the Star Tower could still charge forward, it had already lost within the formation and could no longer reach the Thunder Ancestor. To think he actually forced Lei Ting to use a secret treasure. The Yangfeng Ancestor watched from a distance, quite surprised. The Thunder Ancestor is a semi-Xuanhuan life form, and even without using any treasures, he should be able to suppress the Galaxy Monarch. But this time, he was forced to use the secret treasure. From this, it can be seen the uniqueness of that 9-story pagoda. The gap between the two sides is too big. Di Qing observed this scene. Even if Brother Yin has the 9-story pagoda, he still can't win. Just being able to make the Thunder Ancestor use a secret treasure is already impressive. Yin, do you still have any tricks up your sleeve? The Thunder Ancestor said. If you don't, you might as well admit defeat. The endless river of blood instantly converged into Luo Feng, who looked at the Thunder Ancestor with great admiration. Thunder Ancestor, your realm is indeed much higher than mine, so I have to use a forbidden technique. Forbidden techniques. The Thunder Ancestor was surprised and laughed, saying, feel free to use any forbidden techniques. Luo Feng nodded, and with a thought, he entered the interior of the Star Tower. At this moment, the eye of life and death on his forehead opened. Peering into the inner edge of the Star Tower. The 12-colored blood-red scales, under Luo Feng's scrutiny, showed no signs of any weaknesses for destruction, they only appeared perfect and powerful. However, Luo Feng could see the most powerful vitality of these blood-colored scales. In the long years before, Luo Feng had already tried it. Although I don't quite understand it, still with the help of the Eye of Life and Death, I can harness a fraction of the truly terrifying power of this blood-colored scale. Under the observation of Luo Feng's Eye of Life and Death, the secret patterns in the deeper regions of the Star Tower were quickly activated. Previously, I only activated the shallow-level secret patterns, I don't understand the deeper ones at all. With the help of the Eye of Life and Death, he could see where the vitality was strongest. After countless attempts over the years, Luo Feng finally figured out a way to harness a trace of that power. This is also the reason why he dared to bet against the Thunder Ancestor. Buzz. Accompanied by the movement, a trace of blood red extended from the 12-colored blood red scales, beginning to infect the entire Star Tower. The Star Tower has also turned into a blood red pagoda. Huh. The Thunder Ancestor and the Yangfeng Ancestor, seeing the color change of the 9-story pagoda from afar, felt a faint sense of oppression in their hearts. I heard that those treasures with a reward point of over 100,000 are made using world-class Xuanhuan life as materials, and some even use the bodies of Xuanhuan ancestors as materials. The Thunder Ancestor looked at the current Star Tower. The terrifying aura of the Star Tower was already a trace of the aura of an even more terrifying existence beyond the cage. This treasure tower should be such a treasure. Go. The Star Tower once again traverses the void of the cosmic sea. This time, everything in its path was pierced through. Space-time, formations, all were pierced through. In an instant, it struck the true body of the Thunder Ancestor, forcing the Thunder Ancestor to flee in embarrassment. Thunder World, 10 Ultimate Great Formation. The Thunder Ancestor could no longer hold back and unleashed his most powerful formation. As a practitioner from the origin world, if his clone dies in battle while wandering outside, he can send another clone to take its place. Therefore, he had kept a lot of the most precious treasures in the origin world. For example, the most powerful, Thunder World 10 Ultimate Formation, of the Thunder Ancestor, he now has a total of 2 sets of formations. One set is carried outside, and one set is kept in the origin world for backup. At this moment, he couldn't care less and gave it his all. He had never thought before that he would be forced to use the most powerful formation on the origin continent. Rumble rumble. 10 figures condensed from thunder appeared around, each one controlling a great formation. The 10 directions great formation perfectly merged into one, transforming into a thunder world. The thunder world naturally has its own operational rules, suppressing all foreign powers. Suppress. The Thunder Ancestor gave it his all, aiming to suppress the Star Tower. Rumble rumble. The blood-red Star Tower still forcibly penetrated the formation, making it difficult for the formation to suppress him. This 10 directions great formation is simply a labyrinth or maze. Luo Feng frowned slightly as the Star Tower rampaged through, crashing from one grand formation into another, yet it couldn't even touch the Thunder Ancestor. The difference in realms is too great, even if the Star Tower is very strong, it can't reach the opponent. Luo Feng thought. The Eye of Life and Death immediately scrutinized this Thunder World. Under the observation of the Eye of Life and Death, the combination of the space-time structure, energy operation, and the 10 formations became much clearer. The many weaknesses in the formation's operation, Luo Feng saw dozens of them at a glance. Under the operation of the formation, these weaknesses are also changing. Go. Luo Feng's eye of life and death saw through the formation, and his mind immediately moved. The star tower flickered. In an instant, it followed the weak points of the formation, piercing through the obstacles of the Noldor space one after another, and with a thunderous crash, it struck the body of the Thunder Ancestor, hiding in the deepest part of the Thunder World, sending the Thunder Ancestor staggering and flying backward. How is that possible? How could he possibly find me? The Thunder Ancestor couldn't believe it. Although he is a practitioner of the Xuanhuan bloodline, this formation was crafted by an enlightened being with the help of a semi-Xuanhuan level lifeform. To break this formation is by no means an easy task. As soon as the Thunder Ancestor took a step, he immediately hid in another part of the Thunder World. Withstanding the suppression of the Thunder World, the Star Tower once again pierced through the formation's weakness, striking the body of the Thunder Ancestor. Once, twice, 3 times. Hit repeatedly got hit in a row. Under the power restrictions of the origin continent, no one could truly harm each other. So in a gambling battle, it's all about who has the upper hand. But the situation is already very clear at this moment. I lost. The Thunder Ancestor spoke, dispelling the formation, and looked at Luo Feng with a complex expression. He previously said that the Lord of the Galaxy had a slim chance of winning, but deep down, he didn't believe he would lose. In his view, even if the Galaxy Sovereign had a powerful secret treasure, he couldn't defeat himself. A junior who hasn't even left the origin world can use a treasure to suppress me. The Thunder Ancestor felt complicated emotions. The power restrictions of the origin continent mean that only under the same level of power as the Yangfeng and I, one can gain a slight advantage. Luo Feng said, if it were outside, I fear I wouldn't even have the strength to fight back. One person can defeat 10. Luo Feng knew very well that when the power gap was too big, the Star Tower is probably going to be taken away as well. You won. The Thunder Ancestor gently shook his head. I can afford to lose. Landuo, I will handle it personally. After finishing speaking, the Thunder Ancestor took a step and left. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe. MTL World at Meteor World 1 YouTube channel.